Hey guys, we are here today to talk about imagination. And as you may know, my name's Heather and I created this group, Imperfect Parents Unite, because I thought it would be a fun place to just come on and share a little bit about our unique parenting styles, encourage each other, build each other up a little bit, and then also learn from each other too. So one of the things I want to do in this group is have some live events or sessions where we'll just come up with a topic, we can vote on it. I'll come on and chat about it for a little bit, and then you guys can provide feedback if you want. I am re-recording this because apparently I did a little testing, but maybe not quite enough. But I did the Zoom earlier from a Chromebook and it didn't record. I couldn't find the recording. So here we are. I'm just redoing it for you. So today we wanted to talk about 5 ways that you can use your imagination to connect with your family and really with anybody. So we'll just get right into it. The first way that I'd like to talk about is to build up empathy. And so empathy is just our capacity for understanding what other people are going through. And a big part of developing empathy is our ability to use our imagination and to put ourselves in other people's shoes so we can kind of feel the emotions that they're going through and connect with them in that way. So you can do this with your children, with your coworkers, with anybody really. A lot of these, actually all of these steps 1 through 5 can translate to any relationship, but we're going to talk about them specifically in the context of connecting with family. And my dog is down here visiting, so if you hear something sniffing around or if she makes an appearance, that is my dog. Her name is Primrose. Anyway, right to number 2. So the first one is empathy, using our imagination to connect with what somebody else is going through. So the second one is anxiety. So what is anxiety? Anxiety is caused in large part from when we use our imagination to come up with all the possible negative outcomes that we might have to face at some point. And we let them sit in our minds and we worry. And we create more scenarios in our minds that most of them never happen. So we can control those thoughts. It takes practice, but we can use our imagination instead to reduce our anxiety and imagine good outcomes and the best outcomes and start taking action in the direction of good outcomes. So there is some sense in knowing that you might have a bad outcome or an unfavorable outcome with something, but we don't need to create all those scenarios in our imagination. We can imagine good outcomes and move towards them and hope for the best. So that's number 2. Number 3 is our goals. Using your imagination to set goals is really fun, and it's a good practice to teach children or grandchildren to have. It's a good practice in your relationship. You can visualize what your ideal future could be, and you can work towards those goals. You can set goals and break them down into actionable steps. You can put dates on them and you can adjust them from day to day, but setting goals is not only just a good practice in general, but a good way of connecting and using your imagination. So the 4th is play. And I love this one because as adults, we get really caught up in our responsibilities, in our jobs. We have anxiety, we forget to play. And just the simple act of playing can just bring us into the moment. And when we're present and really paying attention to the people around us, that's when you can make really strong connections. So this could be a number of things. It could be collecting items in nature and coming up with creative projects to make together. It could be the baby in the house and you're giving them a few safe objects out of the kitchen cabinets and they're putting on a concert for you. You're putting on a concert for them, pots and pans and spoons. I mean, who didn't do that when they were little? It could be a game of Would You Rather with your kids. My kids are 7, 9, and 11. They love playing Would You Rather. The things that they come up with are ridiculous, and it's like joyful, fun ways of using your imagination, and it's one of the things we love to do. We do a lot of silly things. So that's number 4, play. And the last one is dream. And I love this one because it's kind of all-encompassing. It's, using your imagination to dream. It could be like that seashell that you see at the store, and you're just in the middle of a store with chaos around you, and you hold the seashell up to your ear and you hear the ocean, and you can like go there in your mind and imagine yourself there. There used to be this candle, I think it was a Yankee candle, they don't make it anymore, but I don't even remember what it was called, but the smell of it was like leather and peppermint, and it brought me back to when I was a child, and my mom used to go out on dates with my dad once in a while. And I remember like being fascinated by her pocketbook. It was a leather purse, and she always had like peppermint Trident and whatever else. I loved looking through her makeup and stuff. But that candle was like a leather scented candle, but it had some mint in there too. And like, I felt like I was putting my face in my mom's pocketbook when I was 6 years old again. It was just cool. So like, dreaming is so powerful. If you look around the room for a minute, wherever you are, or in your car, look around you at different objects, and almost everything that you see started in someone's imagination. And then they attached that imagined result to a belief that it could happen. And then they committed to seeing it through, and they took action on it. And that resulted in the invention, the item. So dreaming is where innovation, creativity, invention, all these things come out of dreams and imagining. So I think that's kind of a neat concept to pass along. And, kids are fascinated by dreaming, but even adults, like, it's just something that we probably don't do enough of, is just allow ourselves to get bored and dream and let our minds wander a bit. So I hope this is making sense. If you want to let me know in the comments if anything I'm saying is kind of like a aha moment for you, you can comment. You might be wondering why I chose this topic of imagination. I think it's fun, obviously, and something that's engaging. I wanted to read this quote by J.K. Rowling, a very creative person. My dog's barking in the background. Prim. Okay, so J.K. Rowling says, "We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need within ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better." And I think that's so cool. But why would we want to imagine better? So for me, it's, remembering those times where I felt really stuck in my life, whether it be stuck in a situation, stuck in a relationship, or an emotion that didn't feel good, or maybe like a past trauma or experience that I couldn't let go of. So the negative feelings tend to show up in relationships. They show up in how we parent. They can often trigger us into patterns that we can pass on unless we stop them. And we can stop them, but it's tough to do it alone sometimes. So what I think is a good practice to do, and I do this a lot too, just when I'm setting goals, but if you can imagine your ideal life, think about where you are today and where you are ideally, like where you would like to be. You create that vision of your ideal future. And then if there's a gap between where you are now and where you would like to be, and you want to bridge that gap, there is a process. And I've already kind of hinted towards it. It's that process of having the belief that you can get from point A to point B, and then committing to it, and then just taking action on the belief in the commitment. So it's fast and simple and impactful. And I'm hoping I'm using my notes a little bit here, but if anything here is resonating with you, feel free to leave a comment if you'd like, or you can send me a message if that's easier. A lot of people prefer keeping their comments private, and I do get a lot of messages, which I love to get. So if you wanted, we could connect and discuss your desires, and you could walk away with some actionable steps. And if I can't help you get where you want to go from where you are now, I'll let you know. But if I can help you, the only thing you would really have to do is just commit to the steps. So I hope this is all making sense and sounding like something that is connecting dots for some of you. If you have a key takeaway, you can comment it, or like I said, send me a message if you'd like. So I'm gonna wrap this up. This is take 2, because we already did a Zoom and went over all this. But as promised, I wanted to send you the recording and give you something to think about for the weekend. If you wanted to get a list of some practices or activities that you can do with your family, I have a ton of them that revolve around this subject, the topic of imagination. I'm happy to share those with you. Let me know if you'd like them. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend, and take care, and I'll see you in the next event. Okay, bye.